Good afternoon, and welcome to the 2024 Global Innovation Challenge Flagship event. I'm Sophie Workinger, one of WMGIC's co-presidents, and I am beyond excited for this year's event. Before we start, I will cover a little bit of information, such as an overview of how the event works, who we are, and what we aim to do. We will also hear from Ambassador Booth, our keynote speaker. As you know, WMGIC is an international challenge for undergraduate students to develop global development issues and solutions to these problems, grounded on a sustainability approach. But why do we do what we do? Our primary goal is to help our future leaders develop the critical skills they need to change the world for the better. To achieve this, we seek to promote collaboration and discussion between practitioners, academics, and students. Overall, our goal is embodied in our mission statement. WMGIC encourages and facilitates interdisciplinary collaboration and applied learning opportunities among students, policymakers, practitioners, and researchers by bringing innovative and sustainable perspectives to solve complex global issues. 8 years ago, 2 William & Mary students wanted to make an event that would encourage students to use creativity to solve international development issues. Originally, WMGIC was only geared towards William & Mary students. However, over the past few years, we've expanded to include international participants, including people from China, New Zealand, and India. Additionally, a few years ago, we began working with NATO ACT and NATO headquarters to do an event in the fall focused on international security and diplomacy. I'm thrilled to announce that we will once again be working with NATO headquarters to do our 3rd annual WMGIC and NATO Countering Disinformation Challenge. These past 8 years have been years of immense growth for the Global Innovation Challenge, and we are full of learning and excitement for what is to come. We cannot wait to hear what you come up with to solve this year's case topic, which will be revealed shortly. This year, you all have the opportunity to work with over 20 astounding judges and mentors as you develop your solutions during the next 24 hours. Accompanying these professionals, we are thrilled to be joined by over 25 teams from more than 20 universities. Having such a wide range of competitors is central to who we are and our goal of promoting international collaboration and idea sharing. Way to go, everybody! Specifically, we are joined today with teams from schools from universities such as the University of St. Andrews, Occidental College, Brown University, the University of Virginia, Berea College, the University of Connecticut, Harvard University, and of course, our very own William & Mary. Each of these teams and universities will compete neck and neck for the chance to win $500 in cash prize. These prizes are made possible by our sponsors, which include the Whole of Government Center of Excellence, one of our closest partners over the past few years, the Institute for Integrative Conservation, and the Division of Student Affairs. Thank you dearly, and thank you to our other sponsors, participants, judges, mentors, and of course our WMGIC team for making this possible. Without you, we wouldn't be where we are today and reach so many people around our world. Now we are excited to show a short video produced by William & Mary's Entrepreneurship Hub with some starting points and tips and tricks on how to develop your solutions.
My name is Brandon Hennessy, and I'm the William & Mary Entrepreneurship Hub Director. It's such an honor to be tapped for the opening ceremony of the William & Mary Global Innovation Challenge. Here at the Hub, we believe in solving problems of consequence and equipping individuals with the entrepreneurial toolkit. So what does that mean? It means that we're trying to create a viable path forward through experimentation. And to know a little bit more about innovation and teamwork, I think it's probably better to hear from our student employee team. So without further ado, I want to hand the proverbial baton over to them, and you're going to hear from them now.
What does innovation mean to you?
I'm thinking. I think innovation takes a lot of definitions in my mind.
There's like 2 big kinds. There's like radical innovations, incremental innovations.
To me, innovation means stepping outside of the box and thinking creatively.
Stepping beyond boundaries and creating something that is beyond belief.
Creating something that benefits the community.
Creativity, thinking of something that already exists and changing it to be more effective, more efficient, to be better overall.
Anything could keep innovating. There's really no end point.
Next is How has entrepreneurship affected or influenced your journey?
It has really helped me with my journey of becoming myself.
Entrepreneurship has really shaped my journey, especially coming from a background where my mom started her business, coming here to the country, kind of started from zero.
You can really build something out of the ground just off of your ideas, and you just have to have some type of ambition for it. Ever since high school, together with a couple of friends, we started a freelance startup on Fiverr.
I've started my own venture called Graphic Visions. It's a graphic design company I'm trying to work on.
Entrepreneurship has been really important in my journey through William & Mary.
It has really shaped my idea of what perseverance is.
It's thinking differently and looking at problems through multiple perspectives.
Taking risks that might end badly because there's always a silver lining to what you're doing.
And then can you share a memorable experience that highlights the importance of teamwork in your entrepreneurial endeavors?
I would say working here at the Hub, every event that we put on takes a lot of teamwork and a lot of effort and behind the scenes.
Well, personally, working at the Hub, I get to collaborate with my peers.
The team here works in a lot of different facets, being community, technology, or marketing, and we all come together to make something really awesome and great.
Going back to the freelance startup that I created with a couple of friends, teamwork was of the utmost importance. I was a part of a team where 3 of us were challenged to build your own software and project.
For my venture, Graphic Visions, I've collaborated with a friend of mine. He has his own businesses.
Overall, teamwork is just something where you build trust with your teammates or your other coworkers, or you guys know and have faith in each other that you guys are all working towards one goal and all in one motion.
Hi, I'm Graham Henshaw. I'm the Assistant Provost for Entrepreneurship at William & Mary and the Executive Director of the William & Mary Entrepreneurship Hub. You just heard from our student partners about entrepreneurial thinking and about what entrepreneurship means to them. That's what we're all about here, and you're going to experience a lot of that in the WMGIC competition this weekend. We hope that we'll see some of you at the Entrepreneurship Hub in the future, where we help people make their ideas more than an idea. This type of thinking is for everybody, not just business school students. All kinds of people can make use of this toolkit to take something that they're passionate about and make it real. Hope to see you soon.
We hope you were inspired by the video produced by William & Mary's Entrepreneurship Hub for the participants of WMGIC's 2024 Flagship competition. My name is Elizabeth Marcus, and I'm WMGIC's Events Co-Director. I'm going to review some important instructions for teams. This information can all be found on our website and in the event packet, so I'll only highlight a few things for participants to consider. Your proposal should follow these basic guidelines. It should span 1 year, and your team must identify which organization's identity you're going to assume for the sake of the proposal. We ask that you do not receive help from anyone except your mentors and your teammates. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out over Slack or attend office hours with the research team. There are 2 deadlines for this competition. You must submit a 250-word description of your proposal by 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time tonight. The slide deck for your final proposal is due tomorrow at 11:59 a.m. Proposals will be judged by their sustainability, consideration of environmental factors, fiscal pragmatism, local context, creativity, and logistics. Full explanations of these criteria can be found in the scoring rubric in your event packet. Please be sure to review them while developing your proposal. Finally, I want to clarify the roles of the judges and mentors who have kindly volunteered to spend their time with us this weekend. Mentors are experts in sustainability and development, to whom you can turn for advice regarding any aspect of your proposal. There will be 2 mandatory mentoring timeframes, from 7:20 to 10 tonight, and from 8:20 to 11 tomorrow morning. Please check your event packets for your specific time slots. Judges choose the winners of each stream. After you submit your slide decks on Saturday morning, you will present to a panel of judges. You will have 10 minutes to present your proposal and 5 minutes of Q&A with the judges. With these guidelines out of the way, I'd like to turn the podium over to the Director of External Relations, George Hage, who will introduce the judges, mentors, and distinguished keynote speaker of WMGIC's 2024 flagship competition.
Thank you, Elizabeth, for that kind introduction. My name is George Hage, and I'm WMGIC's External Relations Director. I'm honored to be here today. And I'm honored to introduce our esteemed judges and mentors who are taking part in this year's competition. We thank them for volunteering their time, expertise, and leadership. Our esteemed judges for this year's competition, whom we thank for volunteering their time, are Meredith Perry from USAID, Bucker Summer of Sulkek University, David Lushsinger from the National Park Service, Ronnie James K. Marungu from the International Youth Foundation, Melissa Marland from Chimonics, Jenny Kelly from SISMIC, Denzel Hankinson from DHI Infrastructure, and Thomas Liu from Accenture. Our judges from the William & Mary Raymond A. Mason School of Business are Joseph Carina, Nancy C. Turner, Brian Donahue, Stephanie S. Gelman, Andrew Lloyd Williams, and Tina Faraker Blackwell. And our esteemed mentors for this year's competition, whom we thank for volunteering their time, are Nitya Lab of Rice, Hadley, Gates, and Manuel, Gabrielle Posner of Albright Stonebridge Group, Deepika Kale of Guardant Health, Chrissy Barchevsky of DH Infrastructure, Colonel Colvin of the United States Army, Azalea Valdez of the International Youth Foundation, Elizabeth Miller of DH Infrastructure, Daniel Dexter of the Raymond A. Mason School of Business, Vanessa Vortel of Taltech, and Kiran Rachamalu of the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities. To all judges and mentors, we thank you for volunteering your time with us today. Without you, WMGIC would not be possible. Now, it is my honor to introduce our keynote speaker, Ambassador Donald E. Booth. Ambassador Donald E. Booth served as U.S. Special Envoy to Sudan and South Sudan twice. Ambassador Booth, a former member of the U.S. Senior Foreign Service, also served as Ambassador of the United States to the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, Ambassador to the Republic of Zambia, and Ambassador to the Republic of Liberia. Prior to that, he was Director of the Office of Technical and Specialized Agencies at the Department of State's Bureau of International Organization Affairs. Ambassador Booth has also served as Director of the Office of West African Affairs, Deputy Director of the Office of Southern African Affairs, and Economic Counselor in Athens and Division Chief for Bilateral Trade Affairs at the Department of State. He has attended the National War College and served as a desk officer in the Office of Egyptian Affairs and the Office of East African Affairs. Ambassador Booth was also stationed at embassies in Greece, Romania, Belgium, Liberia, and Gabon. We thank Ambassador Booth for graciously agreeing to offer us his remarks today.
It is a privilege as a member of the American Academy of Diplomacy to kick off William & Mary's Spring 2024 Global Innovation Challenge. The topic you will be considering is how Zambia should develop its mining industry in order to increase benefits for the Zambian people and decrease adverse environmental impacts. You are asked to consider possibilities for Zambian participation in deep seabed mining, in addition to, or as an alternative to, land-based mining. My task is to provide some insights that can help you appreciate the Zambian and global context within which your ideas would need to be implemented. During my 43-year career as a U.S. diplomat, I had the honor of serving as the U.S. ambassador to the Republic of Zambia from 2008 to 2010. During that time, I traveled extensively around the country and engaged in discussions with a wide range of Zambians. And I developed a deep appreciation for what Zambia had accomplished since gaining independence in 1964. Like many countries in Africa, Zambia inherited colonial borders that did not reflect ethnic boundaries or long-standing animosities. However, unlike many other newly independent countries, Zambia's early leaders, especially its first president, Kenneth Kaunda, understood the importance of building a sense of common national identity. To overcome the differences among its over 70 ethnic groups, Kaunda used every means of communication to hammer home repeatedly the notion, one Zambia, one nation, one people. Many ordinary Zambians told me about one policy in particular that helped build national cohesion. It was a policy designed to address a problem facing the economically all-important copper industry. The problem was lack of wood for shoring up mine shafts. So President Kaunda required high school students to spend time before graduation planting trees in the northern part of the copper belt along the border with then Zaire, now the Democratic Republic of Congo. Students of all ethnic groups lived and worked together for weeks and got to know each other as individuals, thus breaking down tribal folklore and misconceptions about each other. As many Zambians who participated in this program explained to me, they came to view each other as cousins and as fellow Zambians. The results of this program endure still today. Zambia has been spared ethnic strife, and the forest that was planted is an impressive sight. I had the opportunity to fly over it and see firsthand the results of Zambian youth working together. It is said that Zambia was born lucky with a copper spoon in its mouth. Indeed, since independence, mining revenues have contributed well over half the government's annual revenue and close to half the country's export earnings. I had the opportunity to go a kilometer underground in one of Zambia's largest copper mines to see the country's main source of wealth being extracted. The problem is that Zambia's economic fortunes have repeatedly risen and fallen due to fluctuations in the world price of copper. President Kaunda nationalized the mines in an attempt to gain greater benefit from them. But due to management problems and lack of investment, the mining sector went into decline. In 2000, President Chiluba reprivatized the mines and production rebounded. However, mining alone cannot meet the employment needs of Zambia's rapidly growing population. Zambia sought alternative investments in an attempt to develop manufacturing and commercial agriculture. Both approaches have had limited success. Why? The main problem has been the dominant economic role of the mining sector and the swings in global copper prices. When the price of copper is high, the value of Zambia's currency, the kwacha, increases. This makes imports cheaper, thus harming local manufacturing. It also makes Zambia's agricultural exports more expensive and therefore less competitive abroad. As a group of commercial farmers told me, every time the price of copper goes down, the government commits to support agriculture to make it the mainstay of the economy. But every time the price of copper goes back up, the government ignores agriculture, or worse, pursues policies like a government fertilizer monopoly that does not deliver the type of fertilizer needed when it is needed. Zambia's mining industry has also suffered from inefficiencies stemming from lack of supporting infrastructure investment. I'll mention two areas. First is transport. Copper is exported by road. These are large copper ingots, very heavy. They're mainly exported on worn two-lane roads from northern Zambia through Zimbabwe to Durban in South Africa, a distance of 1,550 miles. The Tazara Railroad, China's first major infrastructure project in Africa, built in the 1970s to facilitate copper exports, was incapable of hauling freight by the early 2000s. Fortunately for Zambia, the United States has committed to building the Lobito Corridor Railroad from Zambia to the port of Lobito in Angola. This has prompted China to consider a major overhaul of the Tazara Railroad. So perhaps in 5 years, Zambian copper and other minerals will have a cost-efficient means of being exported. Second, lack of investment in power infrastructure forced Zambian copper smelters to shut down or resort to inefficient and environmentally harmful measures, such as use of diesel or even wood burning to keep smelters from freezing up during frequent power outages. During the global financial crisis of 2008 to 2009, the world price of minerals collapsed. Chinese companies seized the opportunity to buy up struggling mining ventures in Zambia and elsewhere. Zambia welcomed the Chinese investment in mining, as well as other sectors, including retail trade. But this investment created problems. Zambia's mine workers complained of unfair labor practices, and violence erupted in at least one nickel mine in 2010. Zambia's small merchants, facing competition from Chinese merchants, felt pushed out of business. In 2011, presidential candidate Michael Sata railed against Chinese investment in his successful bid for the presidency. However, once in office, he too welcomed Chinese investment and loans for infrastructure development. The borrowing binge continued under President Lungu, and Zambia is now saddled with one of the highest debt to GDP ratios in Africa. Currently, Gulf states like the United Arab Emirates are buying mines and investing in mining in Zambia as part of their economic diversification efforts. Now, let me challenge you to step into the shoes of Zambia's political leaders and consider what policies you would pursue to maximize Zambia's benefit from mining. Zambia has ample reserves of copper, manganese, and nickel, all minerals in increasing demand as the world shifts to green energy. Does this increasing demand imply a stable upward trend in commodity prices, and thus a stable trend in an upward trend in government revenues? Does the potential for deep seabed mining of such minerals threaten the potential upward trend in commodity prices? If so, should Zambia resist seabed mining, seek to delay its implementation, or seek partners to participate in it? Is mining the deep seabed where no one lives less environmentally harmful than land-based mining? Do we yet understand the potential harmful effects of disrupting the deep seabed by mining there? Are the adverse environmental, health, and social costs associated with current mining practices in Zambia outweighing the economic benefits? If so, what might be done to increase the economic benefits of current mining to the Zambian government so it can better mitigate the adverse impacts on the Zambian people? Might promoting investment in greater value-added processing in country increase benefits to Zambia? But could value-added processing, like copper wire manufacturing, be economically competitive in landlocked, energy-deficient Zambia? Should Zambia enact and enforce fair labor laws and stricter environmental regulations, even though that might discourage new investment and also reduce profitability and hence government revenue? Should Zambia try to make common cause with other producers of copper, manganese, and nickel to try to stabilize prices and control prices as oil producers have done via OPEC? Would mineral price stability give Zambian agriculture a chance to be a reliable generator of wealth and employment for Zambia? Ladies and gentlemen, these are all difficult questions to answer, but they are the types of questions that leaders need to grapple with. In addition, the political calculus of who wins, of evaluating who wins and who loses from each possible answer needs to be considered. I hope you find such questions stimulating. I hope you see that how they are answered will affect the lives of many, for better or for worse. If so, if you want to make a difference, I encourage you to pursue careers in which you can help formulate and implement public policies that will shape the future that you and your children will experience. I grew up believing that you should try to leave this planet a better place than you found it. I sought to do so via a career as a diplomat. It was a very rewarding career in that I was able to help a country, Liberia, rebuild itself after 14 years of civil war, to help Zambia turn the corner against a ruinous HIV/AIDS epidemic, and to help negotiate numerous trade, health, and other agreements that have had far-reaching and I believe positive impacts. Throughout my career, I interacted with many others who sought to help to make the world a better place. They worked in governments, think tanks, regional and international organizations, and in NGOs, civil society, and the media. There are lots of opportunities for you to make a difference in public policies. The fact that you are participating in this global innovation challenge means you are interested in doing so. Please remember to collaborate as well as innovate. Keep in mind the African proverb, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. I wish you all the best.
Thank you, Ambassador Booth. It is an honor to hear from you today. Your experience with the diverse challenges faced in Zambia give us insight into the complex political, social, and economic dimensions of this case. I am certain that our competitors will consider your knowledge and the questions you posed when approaching our case. Hello, everyone. My name is Sophia Lobiu, and I am this year's WMGIC Research Director. Our case this year addresses the rapidly changing mining industry in Zambia and the emergence of deep-sea mining. In mineral-rich countries like Zambia, traditional mining practices have been criticized based on their role in environmental degradation and resource depletion. However, economic dependence on these industries has complicated their transition to more sustainable energy sources. Additionally, Zambia heavily relies on foreign investment from countries like China, meaning there are multiple international interests at stake in the transition to more sustainable practices. Our research question prompts teams to consider both these economic and environmental concerns, striking a balance between the two in the future of Zambia's mining industry. Teams should consider both traditional and innovative mining practices in Zambia's future. Teams will approach this case from a variety of diverse perspectives in each stream. Teams should tailor their solutions to their respective streams and can find the rules, guidance, and expectations for their streams in the case booklet. Additionally, the research team will be hosting virtual office hours from 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Time, during which teams will have the opportunity to ask any clarifying questions regarding the case. Immediately following the conclusion of the opening ceremony, the case booklet will be available on the WMGIC website and on Slack. Please remember to reach out to the WMGIC members on your stream and on Slack with any questions or issues. At this time, the competition has begun, and you are welcome to join your stream Zoom. Thank you all for joining, and good luck.